Hello, my colleagues. In this presentation, I'll be discussing Kant, deontological ethics, and how three formulation of categorical imperative apply to real-world moral issues robbing a bank. The goal is to show how Kant's theory helps us judge whether an action is morally right or wrong. I'll begin by briefly explaining deontology, then introduce categorical imperative. After that, I'll apply each of the three formulations of the scenario of robbing a bank, and finally summarize the ethical conclusion. What is deontology? Deontology is an ethical theory that focuses on duties and moral rules. Instead of looking at outcomes, it asks whether an action itself is morally right based on intention and principle. Immanuel Kant believed that morality comes from human reason. According to him, rational being can discover moral laws that apply universally, regardless of personal desires or situation. The categorical imperative is Kant's main moral principle. It's called categorical because it applies to everyone at all times, not conditional based on goals and consequences. Formulation 1, universal law. This formulation asks us to imagine whether the rule behind our action could be followed by everyone without contradiction. If it cannot, then the action is morally wrong. Bank robbery universal law. If everyone follows the rule that is acceptable to rob banks, then they need money. The banking system will collapse since the action defeats its own purpose. Kant will say it's immoral. Formulation 2, humanity as an end. The formulation emphasizes respect for human dignity. It requires that we never use other people simply as tools to achieve our own goals. Robber humanity. When someone robs a bank, they use employees and customers as means to get money. Their autonomy and consent are ignored, which violates Kant's moral requirement. Formulation 3, kingdom of ends. Here, Kant asks us to imagine ourselves as lawmakers in a moral society where everyone follows rational laws that respect human dignity. Bank robber, kingdom of ends. A society that allows bank robbery could not function as a moral community. Rational lawmakers will reject such a rule because it destroys trust and justice. Social and professional implication. Kant ethics shows why honesty and respect for rules are essential in professional and social life. Ignoring moral duty undermines institutions we all rely on. Strength and criticism. One strength of Kant's theory is clarity, but is often criticized for being too rigid because it does not consider outcome even in extreme cases. Conclusion. Using Kant's categorical imperative, robbing a bank is clearly immoral. It cannot be universalized. It respects human dignity and it disrespects human dignity, and it will not be accepted in a moral community. Here is the references that one can go through, and thank you very much, my colleagues. Thank you very much. Thank you.